Welcome to Industrial PLC Applications. This video is on counters part 3, up and down counters. Count up down counters are used to monitor and count a single process variable value. In situations where inventory can go up or down depending on demand, you need to have a common counter to keep track of the change of volume. This instruction works like a bank account. Deposits add to the balance and withdrawals reduce the balance, but both are working on the same account. This counter has 4 input variables that will trigger the action, and it also has the process variable. So with the .cu in this particular case, when preceding logic for this variable goes from false to true, then the CV value is incremented by 1. With the .cd, when this variable goes from false to true, the .cd is decremented by 1. When the ctud.reset variable is true, then the CV is reset to 0. When the ctud.load variable is true, then the CV is loaded to the maximum value of the process variable. In this case, the process variable is the highest value the counter can achieve when counting up, or the highest value the counter will start from when counting down. There are 3 output parameters on the count up, count down counter. The CV is the current value of the counting action. The QU is energized anytime the current value is equal to the programmed value, and the CD variable is energized anytime the current value is 0. As with both the count up and count down counters, this instruction cannot count higher than the process programmed variable, or they cannot count lower than 0. All right, so we're going to take a look at a count up and count down counter, and we're going to observe how the data gets put in and then gets either decremented or incremented. So on this instruction, we have two different inputs, the CU and the CD. The CU is normally for the count up. Well, it's always for the count up, but normally it's the one that has the external indicator, whereas the other input is put into the box beside the CD. It also has a reset and a load. Because it's the two different counters working on the same variable, they have to each have their own triggering rule to reset or reload them. There is only one process variable, and that's the one that's going to be either counted up to or loaded and counted down from. On the output side, if it reaches the maximum value, because you've counted up to it, you will set the QU output. If it goes to 0, then you will reach the, you will turn on the QD output. So right now, the counter that we have is currently, just give me a second, bring our simulator back to life. Okay, so currently what we have now second here. Go back to our program. Take a look at our values as they change. Okay, so when we're looking at the account balance, depending on whether it's loaded or reset, the number will fluctuate up and down. So I'm going to reset this by turning on digital input 8. And you notice the current value, which, thinking of it like a bank account, I call it account balance. The trick to remember with this instruction is that you have the two counters, and if they were separate, they would be working on two different current value variables. In this case, we're working on one, and it just depends on whether we're adding to it or taking away from it. If you had an account balance, and in this case, say there's $75 in there, and that's the most you'll have in your bank account in the time. It's an allowance or something. And as you spend money, it goes down, and as you get deposits, it goes up. So right now we have a target of 75, but we have absolutely nothing in our account. So every time the deposit is initiated, the account goes up. But if you go out and spend some money, then every time you take money out, the account balance drops down. If you continue to add, make sure perhaps have a smaller bank account. You can see that as fast as I'm clicking it, the current value is increasing. And once it gets to our process amount, the count up turns on the output. And notice I can still do the same, it behaves exactly the same way as a counter. I can continue to click the count up. If I click on the right one, it's starting to go down. Let's go back to the count up. So I can continue to count as much as I want, but it's not going to go anywhere. Now, if I hit the reset, then I'm wiped out, and on my program here, just to give you the visual representation, I put on an output to show you the actual overdrawn. If I hit the reset, or pardon me, the load, and then we put that back on. I've lost my QD is off because it's no longer true, and my QU has been energized. So it's the combination of the two counters put together into one package. And normally you would also have other statements around other statements and instructions used with it. So for example, if you had an inventory of say 100 boxes, and as you took away the boxes, the number would go down, and eventually it would reach to a point where, say, you only had 15 boxes left. You would have a compare statement used and saying, oh, we're down to 15, you better top this back up. And if it doesn't, then at 0 you would initiate a different action. But we're going to have another video that looks at the different compare the instructions that will actually show you how to take variable values and put them to work at different points. So a count up, count down counter is a combination of the up and down counter instructions, but works on a single programmed value and has a single current value. In our next video, we're going to look at working with nominees. Until then, thanks for watching.